Hi everyone, my name is Keely and I am the owner and creator here at Soy and Shea, and thank you so much for joining me for another soap making video. Now today's soap is actually a custom soap. I have been approached by someone to make a very simple drop swirl soap using some white and some greens and using Eucalyptus Essential Oil. So that is what we are going to go and do today. Let's go. So for this soap, I am using my usual mix of oils, and that recipe is down in the description box. And in my other jug here, I have my sodium hydroxide and distilled water solution with some tussar silk dissolved into it as well. And I use Soap Calc to work out how much of the lye solution I need. What I'm going to first of all do is pour my lye solution down my stick blender just to avoid any splashback. And then I'm going to just very lightly mix it until it all comes together. Okay, so that has come together quite nicely there. Whenever I do fast forward that little bit there, I am generally only giving my mix maybe 1 to 2 pulses of the stick blender and then doing a whole lot of hand stirring. So I'm not continuously actually mixing with the stick blender. If you do, that's when you run the risk of taking it too far past a trace, and then it just makes it a little bit more challenging to get your soap and designs into the mold, unless of course you are after a very simple design. Then you would pulse it or mix it that little bit longer with the stick blender. Okay, so now I have split this off into the colours. In this one here, I have some Melon Fizzer mica, and I'm just going to give that a little bit of a stir with my spatula here. And then into my other pot here, I have some Elusive mica, which is a beautiful dark green. So we'll give that one a bit of a mix. And then into my big bucket, I am going to put in some titanium dioxide, give that a really good squeeze. So now I'm going to add in my essential oil, and we are using blue gum eucalyptus. Now because this is just the essential oil in here, I decided I was also going to add in some kaolin clay to really help anchor that, that essential oil into the soap mix. Now what I did the night before making the soap, when I did all my oil prep, I measured out my kaolin clay and my my eucalyptus essential oil into my little glass container, mixed it up well, and then covered it up with some cling wrap, and it's actually a biodegradable one. And I left this sit overnight so that it's all absorbed into each other, and we've got like this little white slurry here. And I am now just going to divide that up between my little pots here. Then we will mix them in and then get to pouring into our mold. Alright, so we have got the mold here. Now my customer actually sent me a picture of how she would like her soap to look, so I'm going to try and accomplish that. So we're going to pour a majority of that white in there first. And what she wanted was just some green drop swirls through the top of the soap. So let's start getting these dropped in. So I'm just going to run up and down with that colour first, then I'm going to come in with my darker green, and we'll just keep doing that until this is nicely filled. Now if you've been following along with me for quite some time, you will know that I am down in Australia. So eucalyptus, for me, I get to see and smell these plants basically all day long. We have about 5 eucalyptus trees in our backyard, and then the estate that we live in is absolutely jam-packed with them as well. There's not just one eucalyptus out there. There are actually over, I think it was about 700, close to 900 different varieties of eucalypts out there. And did you know, as a little fun fact, that the koala actually only eats about, I think it's about 50 to 60 of those types that are out there. So that's really not a lot when you think about how many eucalyptuses are out there. My preferred ones, when it comes to cosmetic soap making and stuff, I really like the blue gum eucalyptus because it's just got such a beautiful smell to it. I also like the peppermint eucalyptus, which blends in really well with peppermint essential oil. And then I also like the Eucalyptus citriodora, which smells a lot like citronella and can help to deter those bugs away as well. But there are just so many other eucalypts out there. When it comes to honey, or blue gum honey, that is one of the nicest honeys out there. But for now, what I am going to do is just let that set up a little bit because that has gone very fluid. I need that to set up so I can start to mount a little bit more of the colour on top, and then we will texture it. Okay, so now this has been sitting and it is starting to set up. It's time to now come in and texture the top. So I've just got a stainless steel teaspoon and I'm just coming in on the side, dipping it down and then pulling it up and over onto the top. And this is all she actually wanted, was just a nice, plain, simple design, which I think fits in perfectly with this fragrance. It is smelling so strong, so fresh. It has definitely cleared the nose, which is great, especially with this spring weather. All the wattles are out in flower at the moment, and they always make me sneeze. We've been walking the dogs these last few sort of weeks. Well, I've been walking them for a while, but been walking them these last few weeks, and there's one patch I really like to walk through. It goes into the actual bushland, and the second I walk in there and I see all these wattles, my eyes really start to puff up, and by the time I get home I'm sneezing and all sorts. But it's such a pretty walk that I really don't want to have to give up doing that particular area. Just going to give this top bit a little bit more texture, and that should about do it. Alright, that is looking good. Just come down that middle bit a little bit more. Give it a nice peak in the middle. That is looking perfect. So now I am going to give this one a quick spray with some rubbing alcohol, and then I'm going to go and put it to bed for the next 24 hours, and then we'll come back and we'll cut it open. Let's get this Eucalyptus Essential Oil soap cut open. It is smelling so clean and fresh. Really nose clearing this one is. I'm looking forward to seeing what sort of swirl we've got from that very simple drop swirl. This time when I tried to do that drop swirl, I tried my hardest to actually be very constrained with the amount of colour that I was adding into it. Sometimes I feel that I save a little bit too much colour for doing the swirling, so this time I thought we'll just hold back a little bit and we'll see if we can get some more defined drop swirls. Let's have a look. Okay, so let's grab this one from off the end here. Oh, and that is the inside. That was not what I was expecting at all. That's almost like I've put a hanger through it or something. This here is reminding me of a little tulip flower, or maybe even the wrong coloured snowdrop. So you can see the stem coming up, that little bit of leaf, the flower hanging over, and then the actual flower petal on the outside. Like I said, I always see things in soap. I was expecting to get more of these sort of big drops through it, but I'm absolutely loving that, and I'm hoping that my customer is really going to like that swirl as well. It's definitely got the white base that she wanted and the two greens just gently swirled through there. The picture that she sent to me of the idea that she wanted for it was so that the white was more prominent and then just those shades of colour through there as well. I'm really loving how this one has turned out, and I really do hope she does too. Yeah, it's just not quite what I was expecting, but I am absolutely loving how this has actually come together. So yeah, it's almost like I put a hanger through it as well, but as you saw, I didn't actually put one in. I just did that real simple drop swirl. There's a couple of those sort of heavier drops that you do get from doing that drop swirl into the soap. But yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. I'm very stunned at how it's come together. So I am so pleased with the design of this soap that she has sent through. It's really is such a lovely bar, and just with that eucalyptus oil, as I'm pulling these apart, I'm getting this real nose clearing sort of sensation out of them. It's so nice. And I really do hope that she likes this one. And I hope you guys have enjoyed watching how I make this Eucalyptus Essential Oil soap. If you did, why not leave me a thumbs up and any comments down below. If you've got any questions, I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. And until the next video, I hope you have a great one, and I will see you then. Bye!